to the music scene, showing lots of love for the community. With great advice, I know who I should go see. So all around town radio show, that's where I go for the latest band info. So there's the all around town radio.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to a lunchtime edition, All Around Town Radio Wednesday with the band. Thank you to Sweet Sister Mercy for that theme song. And Mr. Rob Nadler in the studio for producing that one for us. Thank you so much. Hey, guys. How are you?
Hey, what's going on, Scott?
I got Mr. Jerry and I got Kenneth part of the time. He's having some Wi-Fi issues, but we hopefully are going to get him to chat with us here. These guys are the Top This Band. How you doing, fellas?
We're doing great. How about you, Scott?
Hey, how's it going, Scott?
It is going well. I'm glad to have you guys with me today and on the program. You guys are doing a big show this weekend at the Bell and the Bear, I understand. Is that right?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having us on. Appreciate it.
Hey, anytime. And I want people that don't know you to learn about you today. So we're going to ask you some questions. You guys can fire back the answers, whoever wants to take them. I don't care.
Yeah.
But we're going to chat a little bit about your band. And first of all, Top This Band. How many members in this band?
Currently six.
Six of you. Okay, well, tell me what you got going. I know, Jerry, you're the bass player. Mr. Jerry is the bass player in the band.
Yeah.
And,
You know,
KD, I'm the
he's
drummer.
Kenneth
Yeah.
is the drummer.
And then,
All right.
yeah, on keyboards currently we have Billy Brooks and Chris Hazelwood. On guitar we have Jeff Albright, and on lead vocals we have Adrian Hall.
Okay, so six members in the band. And tell me a little bit about how this band formed. How'd you guys get together? How'd you put it together? How long you been playing together?
Well, Kenneth and I, we've been on a pretty long journey together since high school. We had like a record deal back in 2000, and that record deal didn't quite work out well for us. So a couple years after the record come out, we had kind of like separated there for a few years, and then we got back in contact with each other, and I shared with him that I wanted to put a band back together. And so he said, hey, let's sit down and talk. So we began several different conversations about what we wanted to do and who we wanted to get involved with with this project. So like around 2014, we started the process of accessing people we had worked with in the past to see if they were interested. And then around 2015, we start purchasing equipment and also obtaining a rehearsal place. And that's pretty much how Top This Band had come together, because we had saw like the Naked Karate Girls and other bands around town, because we thought the live band scene had kind of like really died out around here until, like I said, we start experiencing like the Naked Karate Girls, Lieutenant Dan New Legs, DV8, the Rusty Griswolds.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, this thing is still alive and
Black
well.
Bone Cat.
Yes. Yeah.
Some bands that get the people moving. These bands get people moving and grooving. And tell me about your style. What if you had to describe the musical style of Top This Band, what would you tell people if they've never seen you?
Well, we have a unique mixture of the different genres, but we all always end up with dance music, stuff to get you up, you're feeling good, you're having a good time. That's Top This Band, because our slogan is sure to make you dance. And we have definitely we've had people come up to us like, hey, this guy he doesn't really like your music, this kind of music, but you guys had them up dancing and having a good time. So it still always goes back to our formula is always to get you energized and happy and get up and dance.
Well, let's face it, that keeps people in the clubs, and that's what matters. I mean, everybody's in business. Basically, the band's making money to play. The venue wants to make some money by selling adult beverages and keeping people in the room and all those things. So, you said you choose dance music. You kind of circle around to that. You do all genres, but how do you guys choose what you play? Do you change it for venue to venue, or do you have a pretty much standard set list that you run with?
We have a pretty much standard set list that we run with. We are looking to incorporate some new material, but pretty much around the same style, the whole dance concept.
Yeah, and we're sitting here waiting on people to join us live. Something's going on with Facebook today because our live viewership right now is really low, but people will be watching this afterwards. So I want to encourage everybody that's watching right now or after to drop some comments. Ask the band any questions you want to. They're going to follow the show afterwards. I'll share it on their page. They'll see the comments, and please do drop some in there if you have something that you want to know. And thank you, Gina, for sharing. Yeah, Book of Face isn't sending it out in notifications because I didn't get notified on, and I usually do on like my iPad. So we'll see what shakes today here at noon on a Wednesday. But Kenneth, you still with us down there? I don't know if Kenneth can even hear me.
Yeah, I'm still with you guys.
All right. Yeah, there's a little delay with you. I feel like I'm talking to somebody in another country here, so we got a little delay, but we'll get you. We'll get you through here. Kenneth, you play the drums, and I've met you several times at the Bell and the Bear Jam and all those things. You're one of those guys that never stops smiling, and I've seen the videos of your band you're playing. You really enjoy it looks like. And what brings you such a great pleasure to be there playing with this band?
Oh, absolutely. Definitely enjoy it. I enjoy the music scene, period. And, I remember when I first heard the name Scott Hall. It was from Mike Roberts, and this was shortly after we was kind of trying to come out of the COVID situation. He said, "Hey, it's this guy Mike Hall. Man, he's really helping kind of jumpstart this whole situation with the music scene around here because COVID shut us down big time. But between you and Curious over at the Bell and the Bear, you kept us going."
Well, and we really enjoyed what we were doing there and trying to, I guess, for lack of a better term, resurrect some things. It never really stopped during COVID at the Bell and the Bear. The Bell and the Bear had a way of making it happen on Thursday nights. And I think it's the only thing that saved a lot of us. It did. And
I was pulling there on a Thursday and I called up Jerry. I'll be, Jerry, man, I'm up here in the parking lot of Bell and the Bear. It looked like a Saturday night, but it's Thursday.
Yeah, that's magical there. It is. It's magical. Yeah. And so you guys, you've been playing this. Give me some songs from your set list that I might recognize or some of the viewers might recognize that they're going to get out on the dance floor and shake what they got to it.
Kool and the Gang, Get Down on It.
Yeah.
Dick,
This Is How We Do It.
Yeah, Blurred Lines. Bruno Mars, Treasure.
Yeah, Uptown Funk and 24 Karat.
Yes.
And Treasure.
And Treasure. Yeah, we do quite a bit of Usher. Yeah. Blackstreet. What is it? No Diggity.
No Diggity.
Yes. 50 Cent in the Club.
You guys already have hit a grand slam home run with all those songs. I mean, that's, if people don't get up and dance to those songs, they probably can't dance.
Sure.
they just, there's something about it because those songs will draw people to the floor no matter what. Even if you're not a good dancer, you're going to be out there having a good time. And
right.
So you pick these songs. Is there any method to the madness on how you guys go from song to song? Do you keep it like if you see the dance floors going, do you call an audible sometimes and, just say we're going to stay in this groove, or do you just go by the set list and it's always laid out to where it's going to peak? You get people out there.
It just depends.
It depends.
We've been in the position where we called the audible, like, hey, keep it going, and then
California love.
Like, let's just keep it. Let's just keep it going. Yeah.
Hey,
Thank
Kathy.
you, Kathy. Kathy checking in with us. There's
What's
a bass
going on,
player with a
bass
groove
player?
too. Yes, fellow bass players there. Mr.
Yeah.
James
Oh, yeah.
knows.
Oh yeah,
Mr.
Kathy.
Mr. Jerry, yes, he does. So I want to know some other things. Jerry, you're a bass player. What was the first song, if you can remember, that you ever learned to play on the bass guitar? There's a stumper.
Oh wow. we going back so far. I don't want to tell my age. There was a song called "Slide" by a group called Slave out of Dayton, Ohio.
Dayton, Ohio, Slave. I know him well.
Yes, and it was one of the, as it turned out, it's one of the most easiest, like the easiest bass line to play. But for some reason, that bass line has been so intriguing over the years for that song. We could be sound checking, and if I actually played the Slide song on the bass, their heads will pop up and start looking around like, yeah, we know that song. So that's like the first song I learned how to play. It's so simple.
And I'm really glad, Jerry, you mentioned the Dayton funk scene, because I've been a part of that back since the 70s. And,
oh, really?
I spent a little time in the studio at Troutman Studios and all that in Dayton. And,
oh, really?
And
okay.
all those guys, I mean, Dayton had such a funk, I guess for lack of a better term, scene going on up here. And do you guys know why Dayton had so many funk bands? Anybody know?
No,
I do not.
Well, I'm going to tell you. And unfortunately, in the bigger cities, the people that were doing funk were from the poorer class neighborhoods. They didn't have a lot of money. In Dayton, Ohio, a lot of the people who started these funk bands, their parents worked for General Motors. They had a good living.
okay.
And mom and dad could afford to set them up with a nice amplifier and a guitar and things like that. And they saw the light saying, man, we want these kids of ours to be stars. And I mean, if you look at Hamilton, Ohio, you go down there where Roger was from, and then he moved to Dayton, and you've got the Ohio Players and Lakeside, right, and all those bands, right, Heat Wave. I mean, what a scene right here. And then you go to Cincinnati with you went into Midnight Star and Bootsy and all them. There's a great dance scene around us, and I think it's still so popular because of that. People do. Jerry, you're right. They recognize those songs, man. Their head pops up and they're like, "That's my groove. I'm going to get out there and dance and enjoy myself." So I've heard nothing but great things about you at the Bell and the Bear, and you're playing this weekend. What's the dates and times on that? If you guys want to tell everybody here, get a little shameless plug in right now.
We'll be there. We'll be there this Saturday, August the 5th. The show starts at 9. And we're going to play 3 sets till 1 a.m.
Wow. Going to jam all night. I like that.
We're going to be jamming all night.
Kenneth, where'd you get your start in music, buddy? Can you tell me? Can you hear me?
Well, my real start, my interest in music came from going with my mother to watch her sing. She used to sing. She was on the gospel scene here. And so I would go there and watch her. So it kind of started in church and just carried on into high school. But that's where it started. It started in church.
Well, I can't tell you how many times I've heard that answer from anybody that does R&B, soul, funk, any of that. They started in church, and it's the foundation of all music. I think it is, and that's cool to know. Now, when did you start playing drums, Kenneth?
Well, I started playing drums, I want to say in the 8th grade. I always had a love for drums, but my mom was like, well, why don't you choose another instrument? So my first instrument was the trumpet. Yes, it was the trumpet. And so,
well, at least you didn't say the recorder.
No, I did not. I played that too. Pass those out.
Yeah, we all played that in elementary school or something. They forced us to play the recorder.
Yeah.
I started taking private lessons. But I was beating on phone books or whatnot. So eventually I got into private lessons at Buddy Rogers, and my drum teacher was a Mike Mahaney. He was a rock drummer. Yeah. So.
Awesome. And that Buddy Rogers, you took me back in time on that one there. Yeah, how about that? That was the word back in the day. I mean, if you went to Buddy Rogers, that was the place. So I've got another question. We're going to kind of turn make a left turn here. I want to ask you guys, who are your musical folks that you look up to, or your influences that you had growing up, that you kind of still model yourself after when you get out and play? Jerry, I'll start with you.
James Brown, Michael Jackson, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, Van Halen, without the costumes, Kiss. I love them. Yes.
Without the costumes?
Yes. Phil Collins, those cats, Prince, Michael. Did I say Michael Jackson?
Yes.
Yes.
Prince, man, I'll tell you, I what a loss when we lost Prince, because who knows where he'd be today with how he was. I mean, he is just one incredible player. Every time I hear any Prince song, I stop in my tracks. I love Prince, and that's a unique individual. And you went back in time to James Brown, even. Did you grow up listening to music in your home, Jerry?
Oh yes. The big secret was actually my father was in a gospel group, and he was singing. He was an actual singer, he was a singer, but not the main lead guy. And they made a record, and I didn't know this until years later. But yeah, music was always being played in our household, and that's what really kind of inspired me. I started out playing the air guitar when I was about 5 or 6 years old, and then I started to pick up like a baseball bat, not anything I could use, or a broom, or anything that I could use to pretend that I'm playing the guitar. And that was when my mom took notice, like, do you want to play music or something? I'm like, yes, I would love to learn how to play some type of instrument. And then I started on my journey of different instruments, because I started out with trumpet, started playing the trumpet. Then I tried the drums. Then I ended up playing the saxophone for real.
Yeah, I said, don't forget the sax.
Yeah, I started playing the saxophone. And then, my mom bought me a 6-string rhythm guitar. I started out on that, but then once I got to high school, the end thing at Aiken High School back then was playing the bass. So I was like, hey, I want to learn how to play the bass. So that's how I ended up, playing the bass guitar. I talked my parents into, buying me a bass, and Kenneth, he told me he was in the band. So I'm like, hey man, I want to join the band with you. And I couldn't play a lick.
Well, those bass guys, they're the ones that are the cool guy. They're the funky guy everybody likes. And look at Verdine White. Look how many years he's been playing bass with Earth, Wind and Fire, man. And he gets on that stage still and absolutely
kills it.
Puts on an unbelievable performance. I saw him just less than a year ago, and I'm just, every time I see Earth, Wind and Fire, I'm wowed by him. He is the show. I mean, he really is.
Yes,
one of the funkiest bass players.
Yeah. One of my true inspirations on bass guitar, Verdine White. Yeah,
and he doesn't have bad hair either.
Yeah, definitely got good hair follicles.
Jonathan Grooms, another bass player out there. How you doing, Jonathan? Thank you.
Hey, what's
you
up,
guys
Jonathan?
Jonathan, I'm sure. Kenneth, who were your influences growing up in music?
Wow, well, you hit on one just now, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh, yeah.
That's when Earth, Wind. Yeah, I remember just sitting in front of the stereo, just listening, just listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire. Gratitude. It was that gratitude. I'm live. That's what really got me right there. But yeah, my mother's record collection is just outrageous. So, her and my mother, my mother and my aunt, like I said, they were gospel singers. So they love music. They just bought records. So yeah, I would always sit in front of the record player while they was playing records and just listen. But my Earth, Wind, and Fire, Prince, of course, The Time, The Deal from Cincinnati, Midnight Star, and The Police. I'm talking about the Sting, with Sting and Stewart on the drums. I would listen to Rush. Neil Peart. Come on, everybody, give it up for Neil. The late great, comparable. Those are a lot of my influences. Of course, Buddy Rich, because he was the first drummer I ever really knew about. And then I started learning about your Louis Belsons, your Harvey Masons, your Billy Cobhams. And I came up in the era where we didn't have the technology that we have now. So I remember getting on the bus to go downtown when they would have like drum clinics and different clinics in these hotels downtown. So I would go to the clinics live because, you know, we didn't have the YouTube and the technology we have, you know, today. So going to those drum clinics was fun.
Awesome. Outstanding. Well, you mentioned the deal. Do you guys ever do body talk in your set?
Well, we had talked about adding that. Yes. Yes.
Man, that's like an all skate. That's a jam right there. That's a good one.
Yes. Yeah.
And if you come to our shows, you'll see them quite a bit because the lead singer and the bass player show up to quite a bit of our shows. So,
do they now? That's awesome.
Yeah, we're really good friends with the guys from the deal. Yeah.
Well, you tell those guys I love that band. I played a lot of their music, probably made them a lot of money in radio back in the years when they got a little residual off of that. But yeah, that was one we played a lot and love that song. So let me ask you this, fellas. First of all, if people want to find you out there on social media, find out where you're playing, you've got an Instagram page, right? And you've got a Facebook page, I understand. Is that right?
Yeah, Karis. Tell Karis I think we got our Facebook page back because she
mentioned that yesterday, yeah, on the show. Let's see here what I got. Follow on Facebook at Top This Band, and then on Instagram at Top This Band 513. Is that correct, guys?
Yes.
Right. So that's how you can find them out there if you're looking for them. Anything on YouTube at all? Before Glenn asks, I know he will.
Yeah, go ahead, Kenneth.
No, you go ahead, Jerry. Fill this one.
Yeah. We have like a demo, like a collage of different performances, all edited together out there on YouTube. Yes.
Perfect. All right, good deal. And I understand you have a studio. You do write some of your own stuff, but you don't play it out live. Tell me a little bit about that real quick, and then I got one more question before we go today.
Well, that's something that we are currently working on in the near future, is incorporating our own original music, because actually Top This Band comes from another group. It was called Native Black, and Native Black, that's all we did was original. We wrote original music, and we had a few.
Yeah, that's what we reported on.
Like I said, we also got we obtained like a national distribution deal, you know, from the songs that we had written and produced. So that's pretty much our roots. So yeah, we definitely are interested in getting back to that, because that's where the real opportunities are, and that's where your real fan base is going to come from. Your original music, not just playing someone else's music.
I'm looking at some of the comments we're getting here. Thank you for that, Jerry. Chantel, thank you. She says she loves some Earth, Wind, and Fire, Temptations, and the Commodores. We love them as well. I just saw the Broadway show of Ain't Too Proud to Beg, the Temptations story. Man, where these performers were amazing, and what a story they had all the way through their lives. Temptations. There's a lot of history, especially in soul and R&B music, that people could learn from, because wasn't as well received when it first came out, and now it's one of the most popular genres out there, and it's amazing how that's transformed. And Glenn just threw the link, or I'm sorry, Jim threw the link up for your Top This Band on Facebook. So if anybody wants to click on that, they can do it. Give them a like. Yeah. Give them a like on their page, guys, and follow their page, if you will. Thank you. And Patrick Witt said he'd love to see and meet you guys sometime soon. Patrick's a fellow bass player, Jerry. And Chantel digging deep, going to the Gap Band. I like that too. Band.
Oh yeah.
Got to burn a little rubber on me there. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We got some good stuff going on. Good stuff going on today. I've got one more question for you, fellas, before we go, though. I always ask this of everybody I interview. Jerry, I'll start with you up there on the top of the screen. If you could take the stage with anyone, again, past or present, be on the stage playing with somebody, tell me who it would be.
Woo.
I know that's always the showstopper.
I'm gonna go ahead in say Michael Jackson.
Very good.
Michael Jackson. Yes.
All right. The king of pop, as he's known.
Hip-hop.
All right.
Yes.
Kenneth, who would you take the stage with?
I'm going with Prince.
Oh. Can I come along on that journey? I'd like to.
You know,
All
Prince,
right.
Prince all for his drummers.
I understand Prince was the worst guy ever to interview. People, I mean, cringed when they were told they were going to have to do an interview with Prince. So I don't know if I ever want to interview him, but I'd love to be in his presence. You know, I'd just love to see
Right.
how he did what he did, because what a genius.
Yeah, they say he got better over time, though. But yeah, he was difficult in the beginning.
That's what I heard. And you know, I wasn't at the Bogart show when he did that one, that little secret show warming up, but I was.
We
were
were
you
When
there?
they snuck him in,
we were,
Yeah.
yeah,
called
we
him
were
Red Hot and
youngsters
Blue.
back then. Yeah.
That's
We were there.
great. I did get to see his 1999 tour and the Purple Rain tour and all that.
Yeah.
But Prince, what a great guy. Well, fellas, you know, we're about out of time today. Anything else you want to add to those that are watching today? You want to come out and see you maybe this weekend again and all that?
Yeah. Come, you know, we'll be at the Bell and the Bear this Saturday, August the 5th. Show starts at 9. Come on out. Dance, sing, party, have some great drinks, and just enjoy a really nice atmosphere. And like us on Facebook or follow us on Instagram.
And
And if you come out this weekend, say hello to us. Let us know you're in the building. We want to meet you.
a dance vibe, the Bell has it. The people that come there will dance. So that'll be fun for you guys. Always a good party there at the Bell and the Bear. So Saturday night, starting at 8:30, right? Is that the time?
No, 9. We start at 9 p.m.
Okay, 9 o'clock. All right, thank you. 9 Saturday, going till 1 a.m. It's the Top This Band. And folks, if you're watching after we're live here, give these guys a little follow. Go over to their page and check them out on Facebook and Instagram. Give them a like, follow what they're doing, and get out to one of their shows and support live local music. What else you got, fellas, before we go? Anything?
Like I said, if you come out this weekend, just come up to us, say hello. We love to meet you. And I want to thank you, Scott, for having us on today. Definitely appreciate it. Love your format.
Kenneth, thank you so much. Man, finally we got to connect. We've missed each other a couple times, got to connect on the show. Glad I had you on the show, guys. Can't wait to see you play. Looking forward to getting out to one of your shows and enjoying it. Thank you so much for being here today, and give us a little backstory. And sometime we got to get together and talk some funk music. I would love to talk about the Dayton funk scene with you and stuff.
Yeah, I was really pleasantly surprised that you knew about the whole Dayton funk scene, Scott. So we definitely have to get together and talk.
Oh yeah, and you'll laugh at that. I'll tell this story on myself. A little story. One time, a friend of mine took me to Troutman Studios the first time up on Salem Avenue in Dayton, and I walked in, and the whole room stopped, and they were like, "Who is this guy?" And they weren't sure about me being in their club, so to speak. And before it was over, they were showing me all the tricks and the gizmos in the studio. And I mean, they had the state-of-the-art stuff back in those days. And it was really fun. But it took a minute or two to get warmed up. I was a little worried there at first. I was going to end up in the alley, thrown out back or something. But really, I love the funk music scene in Dayton. I grew up with it. And, I worked in a roller rink when I was young, spinning records, playing all those songs that you were talking about, Sun and Slave and Lakeside. All those bands, and it was so much fun for me. So, guys, I relate to what you're doing, and thank you for being a dance band in the area. We love dance bands and people that energize the room. So, folks, we've been with the Top This Band today on All Around Town Radio. I would invite you to join us tomorrow. We'll have their gig on the list, but we have a list of who's playing out in the Tri-State every Thursday at 5 o'clock, featuring the best bands and venues in our region. So, join us then. So, guys, thanks. We're going to cut out of here. Thanks. Stick with me a minute, guys, as we go off the air here. I'll talk to you afterward off the live. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you, fellas.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. Take care.